Hello, Wookie Wookie. You're the first one up. 22 male UK. Hello, Wookie Wookie. Wookie Wookie says, I still haven't gotten my result back for my exam, but I can't get them out of my head. Any advice on how to sleep better? Yeah, just don't care. Just don't worry about it. It will be there when it will be there. It's like you're hungry, but the food is not ready. What can you do? You got to keep waiting until the food is ready. So it doesn't help worrying about it. Juanpa says, Pura vida, Meram. Pura vida, Juanpa. Good to see you, dear. Well, I wasn't scheduled to have a live stream here. One moment. Wampa says, Mayran, thank you for your email yesterday. One of the things that I didn't mention and you said is that she is not economically okay. She doesn't have she doesn't have a job, and she's looking for one. So that fits the category that I was saying. You got to be careful. Dina says, hello, Miran, 31, female, Missouri. Hello, Dina, dear. How are you? Dina says, my friend's boyfriend of 3 months told her he cheated on her the first month and that he wasn't in a relationship in his head yet. However, he introduced her to his family and kids all in 3 months. Why would he do all that and then cheat knowing he wasn't there in his mind yet? I can't make sense of that. Well, you're telling me that he cheated in the first month. Did he introduce the lady to his family before he cheated on her? Or was it after he did the cheating and then decided to introduce her to the family? Maybe, in fact, he wasn't sure and he did what he did, but then he figured out that he's getting quite fond of her and has compatibility and so on. Hello, Mariana. Good to see you, dear. I don't know if any of you had the chance to watch the video uploaded last night, or actually early on this morning. I think it would be a little bit heavy video, but maybe you'd be interested to take a look at it. Jesse's here. Says, good evening, Mehran. Was looking forward to your live stream. Yeah, I almost didn't have it because I had a Skype appointment that seemed urgent, or rather, the only time that was available. But fortunately, it wasn't. it ended early, so that's good. Baby Yoga says, good afternoon, good afternoon. Dina says, he now says he's there in his mind and had to tell her truth of what happened. All of this in 3 months is a bit much, but I don't know what to tell her. Well, tell her that it's possible that at the beginning he wasn't sure, and so he was having a date with her and somebody else as well, but wasn't sure she's his girlfriend, and did what he did. And that could happen, that's not a big deal. But if he's then sure, and after he was sure, he introduced her to her family, to his family, and now committed to her, that's okay, because it takes time for two people to really know each other. Did they talk about it, that they are exclusive now, that they are really an item? Maybe they didn't. So that wasn't clear. So at least he's honest enough, he's talking to her about it. And that's a good sign. He could have just not said anything and continued on. That would not be maybe that great. But at least this would mean that he's feeling that that was a mistake, because he likes her and he wants to be in a relationship with her. So he's telling her how it was, which is good in a way. Aman says, 19 male India says, HOCD thing making me more depressed than ever I've been in my life. Yes, Aman, it does. But if you take it seriously and believe the thoughts, which you shouldn't. So if you focus on that, then you will see that this is just, it's like if you got a diarrhea, and it will eventually end, and you will get back to your balance. But you can't say because it's diarrhea, then diarrhea defines me. No, it's a glitch. It's a malfunction. So you got to work on fixing the malfunction rather than believing the malfunction being you. It's like believing that diarrhea is your normal you. No, it's a malfunction. So figure out what needs to be done to deal with it until you get back to the balance that you always had and you want to have. Stand your ground. Stay focused on what it is that you are and what you want, and therefore keep that in mind. Go from there. You don't have to believe that, oh, I prefer to have diarrhea because diarrhea is here. No, diarrhea is here, but you had no interest in it. You didn't initiate it, you didn't wanted it, and so it's there. So, and Rosedrick says, hey, hello Rosedrick. Jesse says, well, I'm glad the problem could be solved in time. Did I miss something? Oh, okay. What is the problem that you're talking about, Jesse? Rosedrick says, another question I used to always but HOCD stopped me from dating. Date? Yeah, of course. HOCD stops you from dating because you're confused, because you have allowed thoughts to determine who you are. That doesn't. It's an idea. It's like somebody else passing by the street and telling you that, you're this or that. You don't believe them. They can't determine who you are, what you are. It's like somebody else deciding, okay, you like that food. So no, I never liked that food and I don't like that food. So you can't believe other people's opinion. Same thing, brain is other people's opinion. Brain, it's its own opinion, not necessarily yours. And so, Joseph says, sir, my ex-girlfriend just slept with someone else. We broke up a month ago, And throughout the entire relationship, I told her that she was more valuable than that. What is she thinking? Doesn't matter what she thinks. The fact is, she broke up with you, she's sleeping with somebody else. You shouldn't care, you move on. You know? Jesse said, do you still do meditation, live streams? Sometimes. I'm picking it up again. Since the time I meditated every day, it was the happiest time of my life. Good. You know, we have the meditation videos that you can simply use those videos and do it with me while on the video I'm explaining it. So it doesn't have to be on the stream, but we could have a meditation live stream at one time or another if you guys want to vote on it, but we won't do it every time because we've got a lot more things to respond and talk about. Mervin says, hello, male 24 near New Delhi. Just wanted to say your videos helped me get out of a breakup depression, which seemed impossible. Wanted to appreciate what you've been doing and what you do. Thanks once again. You're quite welcome, Mervin. I appreciate that. And thank you for the sharing and the feedback. I'm delighted that the videos have been helpful to you. There are 11 of us here, guys. There are 5 likes. What happened to the other 6? Jesse says, okay, I understand. We'll look for videos of you. Just type in meditation or meditate, and the list of them will show up. Mariana says, female 28 Mexico. I've been focusing on myself, but I still feel sad. Is it normal or part of the process of breakup? Why does it feel more physical than mental? Well, because we, through physical connection, have all the other sensories come to the picture. The eyes, smelling, touching, all the sensories are involved. So now all of that is gone away from you, so you feel the non-existence of them, the vacuum of it, much more than the mental understanding of the fact that it's broken up. You're feeling what is not there anymore. The touch, the smell, the oxytocin created when you guys meet, the hugs, all the physical touches, all the things that you were doing together, all the mechanical processes, the stuff that you would do together or for each other, all the rhythm and the order that was created, all the routine that was created is not there. So all those were physical. And so you feel the physical absence of what it was far more than the mental absence of it, because right now you're focused on what experiences physically you were feeling and is not there. So naturally, that's how you feel. And you got to understand that you can replace those mechanical processes, the things that you were doing together, with other things that you like to do. So fill the day with the things you like to do. And eventually, when you find somebody else, you will create a new set of mechanical process to do together, a new order, a new routine, and it'll all be fine. In the meantime, find new things that you like to do by yourself to create new routine for yourself during the day because of those things that you like to do. And then those new routines create a new order for you. Then your mind will be feeling security in that order that you created, so it doesn't keep going into the memory to find the memory where there is the old order that the mind used to find its security in it. Now it can find its security through a new order that you will create through the new things that you like to do. And then that will help you to weather the storm and move on forward until you find someone, some new relationship. Rosedrick says, I don't know why, but every time I get around people, I feel pressure, and I can't even look same sex in the eye without thinking something. Yeah, because it's become the direction of your mind to analyze that, to focus on that, to measure that, to ask that question. Am I interested in that? Is it good looking? Why did I look at that? Why am I looking at his growing and all that things? These are things that you've conditioned yourself because you allowed it to constantly ruminate in your brain. You simply got to understand that it doesn't matter. All kind of things can come to the brain. You don't have to entertain it. You don't have to follow up an idea that shows up in the head. Just, okay, say, oh yeah, that's a shitty idea. Just move on. But if you respond to that idea and data hunt it, allow it to take shape in the way of complying to the idea, then that becomes something that you will feel you would have to do every time such ideas show up. But if you ignore them every time that they show up, say, okay, that's a nasty idea, yeah, that's funny, and move on, then that's how you would treat them, and eventually you would not even pay attention when they show up, and then eventually they won't show up because it realizes that you're not paying attention to it. So it dies. What you don't pay attention to, it dies. What you do pay attention to, well, it becomes something that you expect, or it's expected to be paid attention to. And that's how you condition yourself, which you should try not to do. Yeah, just don't. These are thoughts. They're not you. Understand that. You must focus on the playlist that I have. It's Intrusive, OCD, HOCD, short videos. You gotta learn about how this works, and then you will not be bothered. A nasty thought, intrusive thoughts, negative thoughts show up, but you're not supposed to do anything about it. There's all kind of things that you don't agree with in the streets and lifestyles and other things are happening during your day, but you don't pay attention. You walk by, you go by your business. This is how you should do with your brain. Things show up, just walk by. Keep going forward to what it is that you are interested, not what the brain is suggesting. Brain has no understanding of who you are. It just makes thoughts. You don't pay attention to it, it will be trained to know that these things are not of your interest. And sometimes when there's a glitch, it creates these things. When there is no glitch, it automatically knows what you're all about, and it does not bring those sort of thoughts so often. Intrusive thoughts comes in, and then it gets shut down by the automatic system of your your entity, and then you go on. But when there's an OCD involved, when these sort of intrusive thoughts shows up, it doesn't shut down automatically. So you're supposed to manually, by your behavior, rewire, and then eventually it learns how to function or not to show up as often. All right. Twiggy is here. Says, hello, Miran. How are you? It's been a while. Yes, Twiggy. But I think it was just a few days ago that you had a comment that I responded to, I believe, on one of the videos. No? I believe I did receive one from you. Carl is here. Says, hello, Miran. Nice to see you again, live from New Zealand. Ah, Carl from New Zealand. You've been here once before, I guess. I remember the last name, but am I right? And how about the protocol? Age, gender, and where you're tuning in from. Crimson Jerry says, good evening, Miran. Hello, Crimson. Protocol, guys. Remind me of age, gender, and where you're tuning in from. I'd appreciate it. Twiggy says, I have been struggling with sadness triggers. I believe they are genuine and not intrusive thoughts, I think. Well, what you believe, do you have evidence for it? Yeah, no, you don't. Like you believe in God. You don't necessarily have evidence for it, but you create the evidence because that's what serves you. You want to believe, so therefore you create evidence for it. But when something that shows up that you don't necessarily need to believe it, it's not going to be end of the world for you, you don't need to believe it, then find out. Why is it there? Who says that it's got any truth to it? Why should I believe in it? Why? Belief is very dangerous. Why do you believe? Just because you believe? What's the purpose of, what's the background of it? I can believe that this is wine, but it's not. It's tea. It's green tea. So should I believe it's wine? No. There's evidence here. But when you believe, you don't care what it is. I believe it. Well, then that means you're not really hitting on all cylinders. You just want to believe something without having researched, without all the facts considered. Just want to believe. Oh, that's going to put you in trouble. Twiggy says, I will check on the comment and thank you in advance for responding on that. Yeah, I respond to all comments as much as I can. Sometimes they show up in my email, but then they are not in the video that I can comment back on it. I don't know, they disappear. But as long as they're there, I respond to them. Crimson says, male 23, Greece. Crimson says, I was raised believing that the ultimate goal in life is a partner, and after a breakup, I feel something is lacking in my life. Okay, even if you believe ultimate goal in life is partner, because we are designed for procreation, we are programmed, if you're heterosexual male and female, that program for procreation to populate the world, that's what the nature wants to be populated. It doesn't care about what you think, what you don't think. It just has that program in you in order to get you make babies. So that is part of the way you've been raised and why you thought that the ultimate purpose of life is finding a partner, because that part of the programming is in you. But let's say even if that is the only purpose of life, okay? And so when it doesn't work, so what? There's a lot more other opportunities. Not that that person was the only possibility to be your partner. There are other people that can be your partner. So if that's even what you believe, continue on. Find another. Go for your ultimate purpose, because that didn't work. So next, you're not supposed to give up. Like if you want to build a rocket or a car or whatever it is that you want to build, if it doesn't work, will you give up? No, you modify it, you figure it out, and you're going to make a better model of it. Eventually you complete it. Same thing here. So your ultimate purpose of life is to find a partner, and you tried it and it didn't work. The idea is fine, it just didn't work in this part. So go and modify it and find a partner that is more compatible with you. So why should you feel that, oh, something is lacking? Well, lacking, go fill it up. You buy milk and put it in your fridge, you buy vegetable, put it in the fridge, you eat it, you consume it, or it falls apart, or it just goes bad because you didn't use it, or somehow it's not working anymore. So what do? You go buy another one, right? You replenish it. Same thing here. So everyone keeps telling me to be happy with myself, but now I change mindset. No, why? Why? Go find another. Twiggy says you're absolutely right, but what if there were facts? Facts about what? Explain it so we will see if those facts are actually facts, or something that due to lack of facts you consider those to be facts. Because knowledge is always limited. So, when you only focus on one thing and you think that is where the answer should lie, then you neglect any other place that the solution and answer is. So, Valerie says, good to see you this evening. Hello, Valerie. Says, I had to put myself on bed rest. I hadn't been sleeping, eating, and no time to work out. I've been non-stop trying to keep up with my new job. Yesterday, live talk topic, yeah, I remember. And how you doing now? Did you... Was that making sense to you, the stuff that we were talking about? I remember we talked about it, I guess. Twiggy says, basically, my facts are mistreatment by a certain person. Okay, so be a little bit forthcoming. Nobody really understands, could understand what exactly you're directed to, and nobody knows you. So I need a little bit more facts to know what facts you're talking about. And Rosedrick says, see, dates the problem with me. I know the thoughts not real, but sometimes I still believe them. I don't know. Well, don't. Have a mandate, have a policy that the jig is up. I know what these are. I've watched the videos. I've looked at the scientists and researchers and psychotherapists' presentations and explanation of what this is. Therefore, I know what it is. The jig is up. So whenever they show up, I'm not going to believe it. That's my mandate. That's my direction. That's what I stick by. That's how I'm going to save myself. Otherwise, the brain is so powerful, it keeps putting suggestions, and you not knowing really that these are thoughts and mean nothing, irrelevant, you end up believing it. How many of you watched the new video that I uploaded, that it was published this morning about 6:30 in the morning, which is talking about why intrusive thoughts are irrelevant? I've gone one step further, and I hope that you can understand what I'm trying to show you there. And you will see another reason among the many other reasons that we talked about, the movement of the psyche and the relationship between thoughts, intrusive thoughts, brain and you will find a new tangent on this whole discussion. It's called intrusive thoughts. It's called why intrusive thoughts are irrelevant in 3 parts. And we also have another video that I've talked about. You will always be what you've always been, in 3 parts. I want you guys watch those. And I really take time to ponder. And I'm committed to unlock these movements of the brain and psyche and help you to see what I can see, what can be seen. But if you don't focus on it, you take it for what it is. Oh, it's brain, it's me, what it says, it's true. No, it's bullshit. It's a machine, makes lots of bullshit. And when you believe the bullshit, then you won't give a chance to believe the facts, to the point that you even become separated from yourself. You don't even know who you are, because the brain is trying to tell you who you are, rather than you knowing who you are and telling the brain to fuck off. You know nothing about me. And we have proven it. The brain and thoughts that show up in the brain is made by the brain, not you. Know nothing about you. The roots are outside of you. And when it's outside of you, how could it know anything about you? You got to watch those videos. Aman says how to overcome the resistances form in mind. About what? Be specific. Crimson Jerry says, thank you so much for your insight. I will make it happen, boss. Okay, buddy. Good for you. Delighted to hear that. Hussein says, hello, Mehran. Male 18, the Netherlands. Oh, Netherlands. How much I like that country. I don't know, I have such good memories with it. I don't know, maybe because every time I pass by the airport, there's so many pretty girls there. So my goodness, what is this land all about? All right. Let's get a hold of it here. Twiggy says, mistreatment like bad attitude, bad hurtful actions and words, being around a manipulative person, all right, backstabber taking over, yeah, and you have a chance to recognize that and move away from it. Why do you have to keep staying in an environment which, as you described, is hostile, negative, and poisonous? You're staying there to fix the poison, to turn it into a potion of health, yeah? Don't. Once you realize it's poisonous, stay away from it. That's the only way you can get your health back. FRH says, I have thoughts being gay since 1 year. I'm happy being heterosexual, and I know in a kind that I am straight. But sometimes I ask myself if I really have HOCD. How I know that I have, well, because you are the past. We are all the past. So look, to find yourself, look at the past. How have you lived? What have you been interested in? That is what you are, not what popped up right now. What popped up right now has got no roots. It's got no roots in the past. So how could it describe you? Where did it come from? Where is its roots? It's got no roots. You have no roots? No, you started life many years ago. What is it? How old are you? And so We are here because of how we've been. We are here who we are because of how we have lived, lifestyle, acted, reacted, and all that. I am the past. You can't change my past just because an idea showed up. Wants to delete everything that was factual and give me something illusory, and I'm supposed to throw all the facts and believe in the illusory bullshit of a apparatus brain creating something out of nothing, out of something that its roots are in the outside of it, and it's got nothing to do with me, and I'm supposed to believe that and throw my past, who I am, and believe this that has no roots? Why would you even question it? Only question is that these are thoughts, intrusive thoughts, and brain makes thoughts. That's it. And I'm the one who's the judge, and to find out which thought is worthy of pondering on, and which thoughts is just needs to be flat dissed and move on and not focused on. And HOCD thoughts and thoughts about that you're not the gender you've always been should simply be thrown out of the window as soon as they show up, because they have no past. They're an idea, a glitch that the brain is famous to make 80, 90,000 a day. This is one of those. Why can't it be one of those? Why can't it just be what it is, a bad thought? To you, that's a bad thought. And what is actually attacking you, HOCD, is always opposite of what you are. So if you're attacked by HOCD, you can be damn sure you're heterosexual. And a homosexual person is attacked in HOCD with a heterosexual thoughts. It's always opposite. So if you're attacked by whatever you are, you can be damn sure that you're opposite of that. So if these intrusive thoughts shows up, then you can, that's another evidence for you that you are exactly what you've always been and thought you are and you want to be. Simple. Don't make it so complicated. Just understand the brain is stupid. But the problem is you function from a false narrative that brain is intelligent. You think brain is intelligence. Brain is an apparatus, can make shit and nonsense, and you can use it to make sensible calculations and designs and learning and use it for that purpose. But on its own, whatever it conjures up and shows up in the brain, it's not valuable, smart, or credible or anything. It's just thoughts. That's what it does. It produces thoughts. You're the one who judges and decides which thought is useful, which one is not, and you go about your business. You decide, not brain. All right. Okay. I'm a little disturbed from the appointment that I had. Somebody made an appointment and her expectations were totally unreasonable and disturbing. So I'm not here to help people when they're being unreasonable, and I don't know. So I'm still trying to figure out what the hell was that. All right. So all right. Hussein says it's been 4 months since we broke up. She's always on my mind, literally all the time. It's driving me insane. I'm always scared that she would sleep with other guys. Yeah, well, watch my video that says she's sleeping with someone else and is tearing me apart. So she does. What did you expect? She's going to become a nun? She was with you, she was sleeping with you. She's now with somebody else. She's going to sleep with him. If she's not, she will. Because that's the way the cookie crumbles. You're going to sleep with somebody else. And you have the right to. And she has the right to as well. So what's your beef? But the fact that you think of her, it's normal. She was your girlfriend, you just broke up. It's going to be like that for a while. As long as you haven't found somebody else and you are thinking about intimacy and so on, you're going to be thinking about her because she was the last girl that you had a meaningful relationship with. Like it wasn't a one night stand, it was a girlfriend relationship, emotions involved. So you will always think about the last girlfriend. Why? Because heterosexual male thinks about woman every 5-10 seconds when they're not busy doing other things. Because we're programmed for sex, for procreation. And because this is in you and you think about women every 10, 20 seconds, 5 seconds, depending how busy you are or not, then naturally the most recent girlfriend with emotion comes to mind. And because of that, you think, oh, it's her that you're missing. You're not really missing her. She's the most recent girlfriend that by nature comes to your mind because you're constantly thinking about women all day long. And because you think about women, the one that comes to mind would be the most recent girlfriend. So it's not really that you really, really miss her. It's because she was the most recent girlfriend. And as soon as you find somebody else, and eventually you'll forget about this one, and when you break up with the next one, then that's the one who's going to come to your mind. Plus the one before, possibly. So it's all because you have the need for that intimacy, and we're programmed to think about women every chance we get. So it's not a big deal. It's no sign of anything. And Malik Aqib says, hi, I'm a big fan. All right. Thank you. And says, can you say, hi, Muiz, I'm a big fan? I'm not a big fan. You're the big fan, right? So I can say, hi, Moise. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being a big fan to this channel. I appreciate that. And it's FRH says, I always want to say thank you. Your videos help me a lot. My pleasure. I'm delighted to hear that. And Johnny B. Good says, John, male 30, California, USA. How are things in California, Johnny? Hope things are getting better as far as the COVID and the hopefully forest fire is gone. You guys did create quite a stink here, up here. All the forest smoke from Oregon, Washington, California gave us hell here for 10, 15 days. We couldn't even get out of our homes. It's all cleared up because we are blessed with lots of rain, and eventually it rained and cleared it up. So I hope it's all good for you guys there as well. And Johnny says, I've been going to school and working hard, but I just seem to still have a hard time socially. Who doesn't? Especially this COVID thing, you can't even see anybody. He says, I still feel self-conscious when people look at me and get nervous. Advice, elaborate. Self-conscious about what? And which people look at you, they get self-conscious. Just elaborate a little bit, I'll be more than happy to. Johnny says, oh wow, sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's all over, it's good now. We've been good for past 10 days, and finally I got to go biking again. I miss it. I love biking. It's such a free-spirited thing. And I love my bike. My son bought that for me. It's a yellow bike, my favorite color. And it's such a good bike. I had a mountain bike for a long time, but he changed it. I mean, I still have the mountain bike, but he said, no, you got to ride this one. And that was the Father's Day present. He surprised me with it, but since then, I love this bike. And gives me good exercise too, especially that we can't go to the gym. I mean, we can, but now We didn't go for 8 months, and now I guess I gotta get back to it. Everything's gone, all muscles gone. I gotta rebuild them again. Johnny, so what is it exactly you mean? All right. Johnny says, just when people look at me for any reason, like watch me, I get nervous. I can't just relax and be happy with who I am. I always feel less than. Johnny. Johnny, please understand. The ones who are looking at you, they have nothing more than you. In fact, they're looking at you because they're actually inferior to you. They're wondering, they're measuring themselves up. They're trying to measure up and see if I compare myself to this guy, what does this guy has or what he doesn't have? Can I be better than him? Is he better than me? They're doing the judging. They're doing the comparing. You've got nothing to worry about. And they have the same feelings in most cases than you have. But you shouldn't have. Because the only person you got to compare yourself with is you. Is you yesterday. If you really want to do any comparing, which I don't advise it at all, you just do your best every day. That's all. That's good enough. You don't need to do any comparing with anybody else or even with yourself. But if you ever wanted to do that, compare yourself with the past. How better I am from like 2 months ago or a year ago. What have I learned? That's all. Not with other people. And always try to make yourself a better person in any chance you get. But don't give a shit about who's looking at you. Who do you think that person is looking at you is? He or she's got to get up in the morning too. Got to go bathroom and do his business or her business. Needs to eat, wash face, put clothes on, go to work, pay rent. Same shit. Don't buy into the momentary picture of a snapshot of a person's life, thinking just because the person is well dressed or smiling, that means he's got everything figured out in his life or her life and he's got no challenges or no nothing bothering them, and they're all having a real balanced mindset or mental state. They don't. We're all messed up in the brain. We all have intrusive thoughts. We all have challenges. We all have shortcomings. And they're worried about something, dealing with something, figuring out about their money, their jobs, their relationships, and shortcomings that they have, and things they have to accomplish, and things they hope to have, and things are not going well for them, and how they can deal with this. Everything that you're going through, they're going through, if not worse. The difference is at least you know what you're into. You don't even know what they're into. And they've got more puzzles in their heads. So, in fact, you're far ahead of them, that they're looking at you. And if they had it all good, they wouldn't be looking at you. They would be so confident that why would they be looking at you? Obviously, there's something missing in their life. They're comparing, they're looking, they're trying to put somebody down or trying to see what that person has. Can I measure up with that person? That's what they're doing because they can't get any better than what they are. So they're trying to see if they can maybe intimate you or put you down to feel good about themselves because they don't have the ability to build themselves up by themselves on their own with their own efforts and to have a better personality and more assurance of themselves. So they try to see who I can intimate, who I can, what's the word? I forgot the words. That who they can kind of pick on, and then they feel good about themselves. And if that's not the case, they're trying to see if they can measure up with you. They're comparing themselves. So when they look at you, you don't have a problem. They're having their problem. So, and they're no different than you. They're in worse case than you are, worse shape than you are, because you know what you're in. You don't know what the hell their problems are. So many unknown about them. So don't give them any credits or anything. Give yourself credit and tell them, you know. But it is stupid when people look at other people for no reason. You know, it's a kind of a challenge, seems to me, because we're all violent people. When somebody looks at you, there's no reason do you start getting defensive, violent. Why are you looking at me? What do you want? Because that's our posture throughout thousands of years, millions of years, to protect ourselves. So if somebody looks, there's an energy coming, and you say what that energy is for. And you can feel the energy. Is that energy is benign, or is that energy, but your question is, why are you looking at me anyhow? Focus on your own business. So it interrupts your balance and you don't like it, naturally. But you shouldn't be thinking that other people looking at you should make you uncomfortable. No. Obviously, they have some shortcoming. Otherwise, they wouldn't have a need to look at you. You don't look at other people for no reason because you're doing your own thing. People who are confident don't need to pry in other people's business or life or look at them for no reason. Unless they know them. Say, hey, I know you, how are you? Okay. But if they don't know you and they look at you, they've got problems. They're sick in their head. Because there's no purpose for that. If they're strong and confident, they wouldn't be looking at other people trying to challenge or say, what's the message? So they're the crazy ones that they should feel uncomfortable, not you. Always remember that. Johnny. Hussein says, I'm always having these negative thoughts, even though my dreams are all about her now. I shouldn't be. Come on, you're just horny, that's all. And you just want to feel good about yourself by knowing that your ego is fluffed because she's yours. What does she accomplish in life that she's such a big trophy if you have her? What? It's only about intimacy. Forget it. If she's not with you, it doesn't matter then. Just move on with your life. Hussein says, I'm also scared that she's gonna tell on my secret. Man, it's all messed up in my mind. But tell on your secret, whatever secret you told her you shouldn't have. But if you have, if she says so, say, oh, she's full of shit. Or you start, telling her, listen, if she did say that, you just tell her, listen, those were told to you in private, in confidence. And you say things like that, that's defamation. I'm going to have you sued. Legally, I'm going to come after you. So you watch out. So maybe talk about legal things. It will persuade her to respect your privacy. And you probably have some things on her too, so you can tell her that you don't want people to know these things about you, do you? So keep my secret and I'll keep yours. Perhaps that would be something helpful. But anyhow, don't worry about what she says. Who cares? She can say whatever she wants to say. People believe it or not believe it, but the whole world is not summed up and limited to a bunch of people that she talks to or a bunch of people that you know. There's a bigger world there. Tomorrow, next month, you don't even are in contact with those people. And what they know about you or they don't know makes no difference in the real big picture. Aman says resistance means before I never get anxious talking to girls. Now I do, and it's stopping my mind. Why do you get anxious to talking to girls? What do you think they do? They're going to chop your arm off? Girls are most beautiful creatures on this earth. They're not going to harm you. What are you afraid of? That you ask them something, they say no, so what? If they say no, they're lost. Who are they to mean anything if they are not reciprocating to your courteous approach? If they don't, that's it. But that's how it is. You're supposed to approach girls in good taste, appropriately, when it's called for, when it's the right environment, and properly. And if they reciprocate, great. If they don't, so big deal. Next. And you keep doing it until somebody says, yeah. It's like you want to sell something. Sir, do you want a tissue? No. Ma'am, do you want a tissue? No. Sir, do you want a tissue? No. Ma'am, do you want a tissue? No. Sir, you want a tissue? No. Ma'am, do you want... Yes. There we go. It's all numbers game. And all you said, you just offered the product that you wanted to sell. You didn't bother them. That's it. Same thing. Like some girl says, something nice to her, and if she reciprocates, great. If she doesn't, move on. Don't bother her. All right. And Cedric said, I've been heartbroken before and it hurt me, but you know how I move. I started talking to other female and I feel better. Okay. Hussein says, I'm also scared that she's gonna. Okay, that's done. And Rissa says, if you're scared to talk to girls, it can be. What are you talking about? Cedric? All right. Jeffrey says, Jeff 32, male, Toronto. Jeffrey says, I feel so much apathy today. What can I do to combat this apathy? Well, you got to figure out what is it, why you feel the way you do. What is it that made you to feel indifferent, uninterested? And sometimes you get like that, and that's good. It's like taking a break from everything. Just have some nice tea, some good pastry, some good food. Watch a movie. Don't be bothered by trying to figure, why do I have, am I feeling apathy? Why am I not interested? Why am I not enthused about anything? Oh, sometimes you're like that. You know? So, just do something else. Go in a park. Walk away. Have good food. Watch a movie. Just get into a different world by watching a movie. Maybe an old movie. I don't know. A Western or some exciting thing. There's so many good movies. Just change your world for a second and then you come out as if you had taken a vacation. And have goodies around you and relax and create that atmosphere yourself. Hussein says, Merman, oh, you changed my name, didn't you? I just don't want her to be better than me. Who says she is? It's your thoughts. Bullshit. How can she be better than you if she's not with you? How could she be better than you if she's with somebody else? You're the best guy, isn't it? Every one of us think that way, don't we? And you should too. And if she's not with you, she doesn't have the best guy. How could she then be better than you if she doesn't have the best guy? You're the best guy. Move on and commit yourself to some other woman. And then make her happy. Don't worry about what she does. She can do whatever she wants. That's her right. And you do whatever you want. Disassociate yourself with her. What are you talking about? Hussein, what was your age? I don't have it here. Do I? Did you guys don't give me the protocol? Jeffrey says coronavirus has just forced me inside and I got laid off of my job. Yeah, okay. All right. So you've got a good reason to be pissed off. Okay. And I'm with you. Yes, coronavirus has made all of us pissed off. Just turned our lives upside down. I mean, so many things we wanted to accomplish and do, but here it is. I mean, Jesus, I would have been in Hawaii right now. To where I belong. I love that place. And there were so many other things I would have wanted to do. I would continue my gym. I would do other things. I would be, I don't know, more fit and more active. Everything is all psychologically turned us into scaredy cat. So that's fine. That's normal. Don't think that it is something wrong with you. It's something that we need to deal with. And you deal with it the best you can because you're bigger than that. You're bloody bigger than that job that fired you or the coronavirus or whatever. You just gonna take on the fucking world as we all are in it together. So it's nothing wrong with you. Your reaction is perfectly normal, but just understand that this is part of this shit that we're dealing with. We are in a ship, we're in the ocean, and there's a fucking tsunami coming. So let us all hands on deck. Let's get this thing sorted out. However we need to. But just don't become uninterested to win, to continue, to become the one who sets the tone rather than other things set the tone for us. What choice do we have? We still need to navigate this ship in this ocean and get to our destination, wherever it is, or at least go through the journey and visit all different islands and so on. So for that, we need to row, or we need to have the ship engine working. We need to take care of it. All hands on deck. We don't give up. So that's what's happening with you, and you should also remember, you're bigger than all these challenges. They are not setting the tone for you in life. You are. So they fired you, big fucking deal. They fired you, but you're still there, so you will get another job. Who cares? You're the one who got this job, so you can get another one. So you, your abilities, your qualification, everything else is still there. They didn't take that away from you, they just took the position, so fuck it. But you who took the position to begin with, still got all that it takes. Go get another one. And we've dodged the coronavirus so far. We continue to do what we've been doing. So that's how we do it. Don't forget, you're Canadian. We're quite polite people, but we don't give up easy. So and I don't even want to be okay, Jeff, yeah, you don't have to be. And Jeffrey says, wow, you're exactly right, Mehran. I know I am. That's why I get the big bucks. Can you not see all the super chats here? It's amazing. Don't have any doubts in your mind that I'm right. So, I'm just kidding with you guys. All right. Jeffrey says Western rocks. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Gives you lots of... lately I've been watching Bonanza. I grew up with that series. I love that series. Hoss, Little Joe, Adam, Mr. Cartwright. Just a wholesome movie. Series. And there's so many of them. Season after season. Watch Bonanza. Really good morals, manners, and all that of the old times. Good old stuff. And Western. I love it. And Johnny B. Good says, thank you. I will be booking a personal session with you soon. Look forward to it. And I hope to God I'll never have a kind of a session I had today with some lady out of Europe. Jesus. That was a session from hell. Her expectations were just not within my services. All right. AO Locks, the society tries so hard to convince individuals on the concept of the one. How does one combat the nihilism of past failed relationships? I'm beginning to feel like no one matters. Well, even a worm who's closest to nihilism is not focusing on destructing anything, still survives. So you got to focus on your mandate or prime directive of survival. And do you enjoy eating your food? There is a motivation. So you can't be saying really nihilism when it comes to your health and to your safety. So you have a purpose to protect yourself because that's engraved in your genes, the feeling for survival, the prime directive for survival, the automatic instinct to survive. So if you diminish yourself to all kinds of a meaning of nihilism, then you get to the end of survival. You can see, well, listen, I'm happy to be here. There are lots of things for me to discover. And so don't allow that bullshit of nihilism because there's nothing to be gained from nihilism. So what is the end of it? What did you gain from this particular? Because everything that you do, even if you want to be nihilist, you want to do it to bring some benefit to you. What benefit do you get from nihilism? What? There's none. So it's actually against your survival instinct, against your purpose. So there's no benefit to it. So for that reason, it should be disqualified to be part of you. So regardless of what the society does or doesn't, you got to find some kind of a pathway for you to follow that and make sense out of it all, even though many things could be senseless and useless or unfair, unjust around you, which is true around many of us. But that's the world we live in. We still have that interest to survive and to make something out of ourselves. And it's the human programming nature to build something, to correct something, to create something. Even though it's so bad, but still want to make something good out of it. So you continue your struggle, you continue your efforts. That's why we're here. To go through these whole shits, not necessarily preferred, but if it is, but it's contrary to what we want, so we're gonna try our best to rise above it. So find a way. You can't just roll over and die just because things are shitty. And you can't say you're beginning to feel no one matters. Why? You're not no one and you matter. The reason that you feel that way is because you matter. You matter. What you think matters, and you're still thinking about that others don't matter. So that means that's important to you, that others would matter, which means you matter. What you think matters. That's why you're against the idea and the feeling of you beginning to feel nobody matters. That itself tells you that you're strong and alive and you want to make a difference. So focus on that rather than giving into the bullshit of the negativity. It's not going to get us anywhere. Hussein says, I'm 18 years old, and Rosedrick says, I'm 16. Okay, you guys should have told me that earlier because I got to know how old you are so I would know what's appropriate to talk to you about or not. And I appreciate that. Aman says, resistance means okay, I talk with that. Ross, oh my goodness, Ross, where have you been? Ross says, hey Mehran, male 31 UK. Good to see you. Haven't been on for a while. Just been working and gym. Oh, good for you. And trying to keep busy. All right. Tuning in for your positive talk. Much appreciated. My pleasure, Ross. Good of you to be here. Ross says, I feel like I will not fully get over my ex when I find someone as beautiful as her. Okay, you'll judge it then. Why do you go ahead of the fact? I have this food that I really like. And I say, I don't think I will ever find any food better than this, even if that food is very delicious and I really love it. What the fuck you're talking about? Why don't you wait till that dish is put in front of you and you eat and see what it does for you and how delicious it is and how good it is for you, and then you start opening your mouth about if this new food is measuring up or even better than the old one. But before it even appears and you have that option to try and make up your mind, you're just going ahead saying, no, there will never be another. Why? Have you tasted all the food that there is? Have you had the food of all chefs around the world from all nationalities to make that judgment? You haven't, have you? So then, shut the fuck up, Ross. So wait till you find that girlfriend that you think it doesn't exist, and then we talk. And why should you be so loyal to a girl who doesn't want to be with you? Why? Move on. Move on. And says, but it's been a while now and I've not been attracted to anyone. Yeah, because you're just thinking about her all the time. How could you enjoy, I don't know, some steak or some schnitzel test or some, I don't know, chicken karage or some, I don't know, delicious chow mein or whatever the food it is that you like, if you constantly think about lasagna? Well, listen, lasagna had its own time, and you cannot be fully submerged into the taste of this food that you're having if you keep thinking about lasagna. What did you enjoy lasagna when you have lasagna and when you did have lasagna? Now you don't, so put that aside and enjoy the food that is in front of you, because they each have beautiful aroma and taste and qualities and nutritional values and all that. So why do you are adamant to say, okay, that was better than, okay, lasagna, I like it, but listen, I have it every day. Eventually I say, fuck it, I want something else. So everything has the same routine, the same circle, the same, what is it, cycle. But you don't have to find yourself necessarily loyal to the lasagna. Oh yeah, she was the best and she has to remain the best. Why? She's only the best if she's ticking for you. Remember? If this wheel doesn't turn for you, I don't care if it turns at all. So it doesn't matter how wonderful she was, but if she's not being wonderful to you anymore, then you should disqualify her to be the most wonderful thing in your life. Something else would be the one that you should logically accept to be the most wonderful thing for your life. Logs, can you give me your protocol, age, gender, where you tuning in from? Thank you. And Log says, I guess our minds just want to protect us from feeling the same pain we're feeling in the person by never overindulging in the mentions of future relationships. That's where the nihilism hits. Yeah, well, don't be like that. There's every new beautiful things out there that you haven't encountered, so you can't write them all off before even you meet them. No, the whole premise of being a human is to be courageous. And you hit one storm, that doesn't mean you should never go into the ocean again. You learn from that storm, and it's not always stormy, so go into the ocean, and if there's a storm hit, well, you do your best like you did with the experiences they have gathered from the last storm. And if you didn't, well, you continue your journey and enjoy that what you're trying to accomplish in that the journey in that ocean. All right, let's see what we have here. And Rosedrick says, last question. When I get around people, I start to feel like somebody think I'm gay, but I know I'm not gay. But then I really start to question. No, don't question yourself. These are the inferiorities that somehow this whole personal lifestyle of others is all around the internet and introduction of it. Personal lifestyle of all kinds is being a subject of discussion on TV and everywhere. So it brings that kind of a thought to your head about such views, which to you is irrelevant, and it should remain irrelevant because that's not your lifestyle. But because all these lifestyles are there, they seep into the consciousness, and the brain comes up with all kinds of ideas and suggestions about it. And one of the things that goes on with the young mind and young teenagers is that I have to prove I'm a man, I'm man enough, because all the pictures and the movies that we've seen portrays men to be in a certain way, sometimes ugly looking or rough looking or bad behavior or careless or whatever. And because we are not that proper boy and proper lifestyle for your what you like to do and so on, and you're not bothering anybody, that's proper lifestyle. And so because then you have nothing much in common with those characters in the movie that supposedly represents how a real man looks like, which is just a role in the movie. But then you constantly think, because you're not like that, you're not ugly, you're not dirty, you're not bad-mannered, you don't bother anyone, you're not vicious, and therefore you say, oh, maybe then I'm not man enough, I have to prove it, and maybe then I'm, you have the question in your mind. But that shouldn't be. You shouldn't pay attention to asking that question or answering that question. If you're born, however you're born, you are that no matter what thought comes to your mind. And you should not play with that thought or entertain it. Just say, okay, a thought comes. I don't have to entertain it. I don't have to answer it. And move on. So that's the end of that. You don't have to question your sexuality. Your sexuality is known to you. And there's only one thing you got to do. Just live and enjoy it and don't question it. Because how many times you're going to question it? Because that's the nature of the negative mind. Our mind is always trying to prove, especially our sexuality is very important to us. And so heterosexual male is constantly trying to prove that he's a heterosexual male because there's so many other lifestyles out there. And to him, other lifestyles don't matter and are not interesting. But the negative thought finds it as an intrusive suggestion, and then he, the heterosexual person, is trying to data hunt it, address it, find a solution to it, assurances. No need for that. There is no reason for you to try to prove anything that you already are. Just because a thought, a question, a suggestion showed up or any kind of a meaning to it. Don't pay attention to thought. You don't have to explain anything. You are who you are. Listen, every one of us are equal. Whether you're born homosexual or you're born heterosexual or any other gender you're born, we are all human beings before we are anything else. And whatever you're born, you're not going to change. So whatever thought shows up about you not being who you've been born as or who you are, you like to be and all that, don't pay attention to it. It's nonsense. It brings division between us. Just be who you are and know who you are, and you know who you are. You've been born this, that's how you are. You've been born that, that's how you are. That's not going to change. The brain constantly comes up with all kinds of thoughts. If you want to listen to that, then one day you're this, one day you're that, one day you're this, one day you're that, and one day you're a tree, one day you're a dog, one day you're a horse, one day you're an elephant. They don't think that way. The animals don't think that way. Why? Because animals can't think. They can't speak. Because thoughts are the roots of all problems. Our problems with all these questions and doubtfulness of the brain started 40,000 years ago when we began to learn how to think and speak. Before that, we were animals living on instinctive behavior. We had no questions about our needs or sexuality or inclination or gender or anything. Nothing. We were who we were. Whatever we were. It was all happy all through life. You just needed to eat, hunt, you have your sex, you have your sleep, whatever you need, instinctive. But when we start learning how to think and speak, these thinking, because the brain is an independent system, conjures up all kind of thoughts that is nonsense to you, but you think it means anything because it happens in your head. No, it doesn't mean anything, because brain is independent system. Yes, it's in the skull that belongs to you, part of your physical body, but it is an independent system. It has its own mandate. It makes thoughts, but those thoughts are meaningless to you. You're not supposed to entertain them. You're not supposed to believe them or try to answer them, respond to them, or prove to them your manhood, your sexuality, your inclination, your this and that, just because a thought popped up. None of that shit. If you do away with it, then you will be happy and relaxed and enjoy your life. And don't give a damn about what thoughts shows up. Watch my videos about, in the playlist called Intrusive OCD, HOCD, short videos. And they're not all short, but most of them are. And the ones that I uploaded just a few days ago, especially the one this morning, 6:30, they're in 3 parts. 2 parts of it is published. The other one is the combination, is the condensed version of it, which I will publish it. But try to understand what I'm trying to say. And the roots of HOCD, roots of thoughts, these are all in that playlist. Watch them. You will learn. And also learn about the presentations of the scientists and psychotherapists that I have the links below the description of the videos in those playlists. And enjoy educating yourself to learn about the movement of the psyche and the role of thoughts and brain and you and all that. And then you will become free from all that bullshit that is you're entertaining in your head. All right. Ross says, Mehran, have you been managing to fill your week in these times when you're not live streaming? Are the gym not open in Canada? Yeah, they are, but I've kind of lost that rhythm, so I do lots of biking. And my age, I was getting lots of recovery was hard. At my age, things are different, and I work heavy to my size, and then I don't feel like I should stop. I do lots of reps, lots of weight, and then I have pain all over, and the recovery was very difficult. So in fact, in the past 7-8 months, I kind of recovered, rebuilt my whole, pains are not there. I'm not crushed. so it's pretty good that way. In a way, but no, I have to start going to the gym again. And says, I want to go on holiday to America and Canada when it's next possible. Where are you, Ross? In UK? Yeah, I know. I love to go somewhere too. I'm dying to go to Hawaii, and that's where I feel, I don't know, most complete somehow. I don't know. But I can't. And who knows when they come up with all that nonsense, I don't know what it is, vaccine, and they're going to shove that into us. What's that about? What's in there? Has it been long enough, tested enough? Is it safe? I don't know. So if I don't have to travel, if I have to get stuff that I'm not sure of what it is, well, I won't travel. I'll stay home until it's proven that it's all safe and all that, and that we need to take it or not. So at this point, I don't know really. So AO Logs says, 24 years old, male from the UK. I often wish I was AO, you're just going off rail. Don't just enjoy women because they're amazing in all aspects of their being, intellectually, their consciousness level, compatibility, expertise in what they have trained themselves, their beauty, and you're interested in them for getting to know them and more. So you don't have to go too deep in all these things. Just free yourself from becoming someone who's compliant instead of learning about his own brain and just falling into the trap of the brain and thoughts. Don't do that. All right. Okay, guys, it looks like it's time for me to have answered all the questions that we have here. So it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here and giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to talk to you again. Maybe tonight at 9:30 I'll have a live talk for the other neck of the wood, Australia and Asian countries. And if not, well, maybe tomorrow. Anyhow, I look forward to talk to you again. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.